Hi everyone, welcome to Joe's Learning Hub, a one-stop channel for teacher trainees. In today's lecture, you will be learning about the direct method. The direct method was proposed by Maximilian Berlitz at the end of 19th century. This method was proposed as a response to grammar translation method. This method can also be called as a natural method or a reformed method. We can see that in this direct method, the learner immerses himself or herself in the same way as first languages learnt. And hence, this method can be called as natural method. It also believes that a foreign language should be taught without translation. And it also attempts to make second language learning more like first language learning. That's why it is a natural method. Now, as far as the meaning of direct method goes, in New International Dictionary, it is said that it is a method of teaching a foreign language, especially a modern language, through conversation, discussion, and reading in the language itself without the use of pupil's language or without any translation. So, what do you understand from this direct method? It is a method wherein which English language or any foreign language can be taught through the language itself and without using the mother tongue of the students and also without translating. Hence, it is called as direct method. Now, let us see the features of direct method. Here, in this direct method, the classroom transaction is conducted exclusively in the English language. And also, the teachers teach the vocabulary that is used daily. So, day-to-day vocabulary is taught. And the most important thing is that oral communication skills are built up in a carefully graded progression. So, the students are made to communicate well with the English language itself. There is also an organized question and answer exchanges between students and teachers so that the students can think in English and answer in English. In this direct method, grammar is taught inductively through examples and only then the rules are derived. So, these are few of the features. Next, we can also say that the English language is taught using oral approach. So, the teachers themselves speak in English. So, new teaching points are introduced only orally. Whatever concrete vocabulary is taught, it is being shown through visual aids. That is by showing objects and pictures, and the students are made to associate their ideas and thus arrive at abstract vocabulary. So the concrete vocabulary is taught first and then they arrive at the abstract vocabulary. Here both listening, comprehension and speech are taught. So the students listen to teachers speaking in English, then they understand the concept that is being put forward to them, and later they understand it and then they speak in English. So, listening, comprehension and speech are taught. More emphasis is given on correct pronunciation and grammar. Now, let us see about the basic principles of direct method. The first one is direct relationship between thought and words. Here, the students are made to think and speak using the same medium, that is same language, that is English language. So, there is a definite direct relation between thought and words. The next thing is that speech practice is given in the direct method. So, more emphasis is given on oral practice for all the students. Next, the method also emphasizes on functional grammar rather than putting their emphasis on the theoretical grammar. There is no use of mother tongue in this grammar. The students are not at all allowed to use mother tongue. It is completely prohibited in the classroom. Then the next thing is limited vocabulary. As I said earlier, the method advocates use of limited vocabulary, that is only the words that are used in the daily life, so that they could understand and those words can be repeated often. So the words must be from requirement or needs of the learners. And next is, in this method, the unit of speech is a sentence. Hence, emphasis is given on speaking the complete sentences. So these are all the basic principles of direct method. Now let us move ahead and know what are the teaching techniques that are to be used by teachers while using the direct method. The first thing is, as I said earlier, in order to arrive at abstract meanings and in order to teach the concrete vocabulary, the teacher has to show or use multiple examples of a word or a concept. Hence, they have to use visual clues. And also, it is necessary to make the learners listen to how the language is used, how it is pronounced, and how to incorporate it in their speech. So, the teacher has to be more efficient or more able in using the language, in pronouncing the language correctly, and also teach the students to incorporate what is being taught in their speech. The next technique that a teacher should know is the teacher should give ample opportunity to the students to speak in English in the classroom. So, when will that happen? It will happen only when a safe environment is provided for the students to speak in English. So, whenever the student speaks in English, the teacher has to appreciate them when it is correctly spoken and correct them when they do mistakes. So, these are the teaching techniques that are to be followed by the teachers while using the direct method in the classroom. So now let's see what are the merits of direct method. This method insists on prohibition of mother tongue. So there is complete restriction of the use of mother tongue either for the teachers or for the students. So both of them have to use only the target language or the English language in the classroom. And next is that it helps the learners to repeat whatever the teacher says. Only then they'll be able to get the correct pronunciation. So the teacher has to be more efficient in pronouncing the words correctly. Next, the teacher proceeds from particular to general and from concrete to abstract. This is what we saw in the features of direct method. Next, a lot of exposure to the new languages taught. This method helps the learner to develop oral fluency and spontaneity. The next merit of direct method is there is more emphasis on the use of language. As the students listen, comprehend and speak, they have their pronunciation improved. So there is much of improvement in the pronunciation. And as we said earlier, when there is a direct relation between thought and expression, the learners will have good fluency while speaking. So this is also one of the biggest merits of direct method. Then next is that, as we saw earlier, the unit of speech is sentence, and hence the students will learn to speak complete sentences without any hesitation. So these are the merits of direct method. Now let us go to the demerits of direct method. Since only speaking and listening is given importance, the other skills like reading and writing is ignored. And most importantly, as we said, the teacher has to be competent enough to use the language correctly, pronounce the language properly, and teach them new vocabularies. So there must be competent teachers. If the teacher is not competent enough, then this direct method will be a big flop. Then this direct method cannot be used at the earliest stage of learning. Hence, this method can be used only in the higher classes. It cannot be used in the primary classes. So, these are all the demerits of direct method. So, my dear students, you now know what a direct method is, what are the features that take place in the direct method, what are its basic principles, the merits, and the demerits. Let us meet in the next video. Until then, thank you.